You have a very complex relationship with perfectionism. Talk about that.
Yeah, I think maybe it comes from, when I was a kid, I didn't speak English, and I went to school, and I wore clothes that my mother made, and I carried, any Italians in here? I'm sure there are. I carried a bag for lunch. My lunch was wrapped in aluminum foil, not in a zip bag, because you can't put sausage and peppers in a Ziploc bag, and the guy next to you is having peanut butter and jelly, and you're having sausage and peppers for lunch. And they're looking at you like, what is that? You go, ha, 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 ha. And you always feel like you're a little bit different, and the only place where you ever kind of fit in is when you go to the playground and you start playing, then everything's equal there, and I always felt like I need to become really, really good so that I can feel like I'm part of this. So I worked really, really hard at perfecting everything I tried to do.
And where does that urge to prove come from?
Again, I think it goes back to my childhood, where you had to prove that you were part of, that you were as good as the kids that were Americans.
Okay, well, can I ask a question? Because I have a theory.
All right, give me your
you.
theory.
I've been trying to understand
How
him.
about I ask the question? What do you think's my problem? How about I ask the questions and you answer?
I'll take a stab.
All right, go ahead.
You came over here when?
I was 7.
And you had to learn how to be extremely resourceful.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Actually, my mother would give me $90 in an envelope, and I would go pay the rent, mortgage actually, and then walk around the corner and pay the electric bill, and then pay the gas bill, and then. And
you would acknowledge that's an abnormal existence for an 8-year-old.
Well, I didn't do that till I was 11.
So
Come on, my mother wasn't going to abuse me when I was 8.
Okay.
I was 11. I walked all the way down to Main Street, but it was a different time. All right, go ahead.
Well, to me, it seems like you're taking cues from a different country.
Yep.
And you're learning how to fit in.
Yep.
And you realize, if I achieve my ass off,
yep,
people will respect me.
Correct. Thank you for coming.
But here's what I think's interesting. You know this.
Yeah, but I achieved, it's in coaching. It's like.
I think we
have any Jewish people in here? So I'm going to tell you, my friends, we talk about this all the time. And I say this because I think it's pretty funny. Because we talk about this all the time. My wife, I had never met a Jewish person until I started dating my wife. And she lived in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood and went to a school. And one of their cheers, their colors were blue and gold. So one of their cheers was, we're goldish, we're bluish, we're 90% Jewish. Just for fun. Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, went to her school. So I remember laughing, and one of them told me this great joke. It's great, but it makes sense. So what we're talking about. This guy, he just is going to be inaugurated as vice president in the United States. And his mother lives in Florida. So he calls his mother and says, Mom, the inauguration's next week. I want you to come up. She goes, I'm not coming. I hate to travel. I'm not coming. He goes, I'll send a Navy pilot down to get you. I don't want to come. I don't want to be bothered, blah, 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 blah. Come on, Mom. It's like vice president of the United States. Sends the plane down, picks the mom up. Mom comes up, sits down, first row, having the ceremony. She's got the Secretary of State next to her. Halfway through the ceremony, she goes, And she hits him. She goes, see that guy up there? Yeah, his brother's a doctor. So yeah, there's so much where you go, I could have done so much more than just coach basketball. It just seems so trivial at times within myself. That's the biggest struggle that I have, is that I did exactly what I did when I was a kid. I took something that I was really good at, perfected it, and I have issues.
So do you feel like achievement and fulfillment don't go hand in hand?
No, I don't think so.
And
I don't think so.
so the question is really, for this last part, is where are you going to derive your fulfillment from? Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a long talk with Tiger Woods about this. I said, so now that you're not going to win anymore, what are you going to do? And I was trying to be funny, and he said, well, I'm not going to focus this part of my life on just winning golf tournaments. There's so much more that I want to do, that I think I can do, that I can use my resources and talent to do besides win golf tournaments. And he went on for like an hour about all these projects that he has with his foundation that he wants to do as he gets older, that's what he wants his legacy to be. So I think we all reach a certain age where we go, okay, now what? What is going to actually fulfill you? Because what are you going to do? Take your achievements and go, hi, Brett, I'm Geno Auriemma. I have 11 national championships. How are you? What's that get you? I mean, I think we all get to that point where we look for what else? What else? But maybe some people don't. I don't know. Me, I've always been the kind of person that's like, what else?
And that's where you're at now.
I'm at like, yeah. I said, well, let me coach the Olympic team. I was honored to be asked. I always wanted to. I always wanted to be asked. And they did, and I did it. And we killed everybody, and I thought, damn, this wasn't even hard. I'm going to do it again. So I did it again, and we beat everybody even worse. Now, the danger of that is you keep stretching yourself so far. You keep adding so much to your life to try to find that you get away from the one thing that you are really good at, and you got to be careful that trying to find all this other stuff that's going to fill you up with the things you think you need, you're not, goes back to where we started in the beginning. You're getting further and further away from those kids that depend on you every single day. So in so many ways, I'm actually scaling back from all that. Like, I want it inside of me, but my better judgment has been telling me, don't do that. The only reason I came here to do this with you is because I love Chicago.
We appreciate the transparency.
And I always get a kick out of the way you. He's like a great interviewer, isn't he? He like really knows his stuff. He knows how to present it. He doesn't ask questions that are longer than the answers. You ever talk to people like that? By the time they get done asking you the question, you go, yeah. So I'm fascinated by the way you bring out of people what you want to bring out. You have a unique ability to do that.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'd like to do that with Anson, because I think he's traveled a similar path as you. So
He has a lot more championships than I do, though. How many does he have? 22, 23, 24? How many?
Around there.
Around there? He has so many you can't even count them all.
Let's give it up for Geno.